Boma. Here we are again after, I don't know how long you've been here, like a year ago?
That's correct.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
So this time I decided to interview you about your art, which is making animals in different shapes and colors.
Yeah, motifs, yeah.
Yeah, and they're all different, right? Because you changed the coloring.
Yeah, basically the coloring is just like, I guess, like say I'm just doing a canvas, so I use the backgrounds right away, concept of the canvas.
And then you change the
yeah,
color of the animal.
it sounds abstract, but there's an intention, right? It's not just, but it gives me maybe the ability to explore. It's the same thing, but with variation.
In different
Yeah,
colors.
with variation, that's correct.
So, but the animal itself is the same.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So the only thing you change is by changing the colors, it changes the mood of the animal.
Oh, obvious, yeah, so obvious, yeah. It's just like if you walk anywhere, like in this room, you know, the lighting is very light.
Lighting, yeah.
Yeah, so what does it do?
Yeah, even when I do a show, if the lighting is different on me, I look totally different.
Oh, that's correct, yeah. You know,
Yeah.
it affects us, so, you know, yeah.
So one time in the other studio, the light was dim.
Yeah.
And it was so much different,
Oh, yeah.
the atmosphere.
Oh, yeah.
It feels like very intimate, you know, if you want something in.
Yeah.
If you turn down the lights,
Oh, yeah.
makes it a little bit more conversation
Yeah.
in evening or something. But it also changed your look completely.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's true, because the way you look in sunlight is not the same way you look in,
Inside.
yeah.
Yeah, or any candle on your face.
Yeah, it's very well.
It's I noticed that when you told me, like, if you lose your light in your house and you put a candle
Yeah.
on your face looks totally different too.
The amount of illumination you have, you know, also.
Yeah, no, you don't see as many.
Exposure, you have.
Yeah, that's why some people are very specialist with the lighting.
Oh, yeah.
Today we have normal lighting.
It's still a studio light, but, you know.
No, but what I'm saying is that it's not like a subdued light. I
Yeah.
can turn down the lights a little bit. But so that we can see you, it's normal lighting. The other studio maybe had more lights.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
Yeah. So basically what you do, since you make many shirts, you have countless combination of colors on the subject.
Yeah, and, but what I tell people who ask me about, like, is it colors, perspectives, there's a basic key that I usually refer them to, like, if you want to get a good sense of color, just nature already provides that.
Yeah.
But one of the big displays of it for our own purposes here on this plane
Yeah.
of existence is the rainbow.
Yeah.
Right? Then you say, okay, looking at that, the way those colors combine and how well they work. So if you can take those same colors, right?
Yeah.
And change the hues of that color, right?
Yeah.
And create, you know, and just get, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you can create, say for instance, with the rainbow, you have what? Basically, you have your red,
Yeah.
right? You have
The blue.
yeah, you have your, let's say orange,
Yes.
then you have the yellow, right?
So the three.
Yeah, and then you move on to the green, right? Then from the green, you go into the blue,
Yeah.
right? And then from the blue, you start going to, I guess, the purple, right? Until the white, right? The white is usually not seen, right? But so what if you took the white, right? I mean, and if you combine those different colors, you get different colors, right? If you combine 8 of those colors together, you get different colors.
Yeah, the red and the blue will become brown.
You become purple.
Oh,
The
purple.
red and the blue become purple.
Okay.
So what if you took a white and added to the purple you just created?
A pink.
No, you will get a pink, not necessarily. What you get is you get a different shade of the purple.
Of the purple.
Right? And then if you keep adding more line, get right? Okay, until you turn into, it becomes like a purple type pastel. So what name are you going to give it? Alright, so there's an endless.
Mauve, it's called mauve.
Yeah.
Mauve is like very light purple.
Okay, so there you go. So
like I see the colors on that elephant.
yeah.
And it's very creative because I've seen your elephants in totally different colors, and that elephant didn't look the same.
Yeah, it's true. Like
This elephant is walking in the dark, basically.
okay, so that's a wonderful interpretation. It's not like say, okay, you have a room,
Yeah.
and you change the furnishing of the room.
That's what you're doing on that.
Okay.
Changing the furniture.
There's no way, just like, okay, here's this form, here's this shape. I mean.
All right, so what did you do? You did the elephant, the standard elephant, then you took your paint brush and you put colors on it like that?
No, not that way. First of all, no, I do it straight on the shirt, right? I create what I'm trying to convey, right?
Yeah.
It's all about lines, right? In this case, with this particular image, if you look at there's a lot of diagonals, right?
Oh, is that what you did?
So you see.
Yeah, but those little colors in the middle looks like you did it by hand.
Oh yeah, everything on the back, yeah, because I did all of it by hand, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just like using the closest, let me say, using a spatula, big words like say, think about, like for people who do construction, who do drywall, they have like this different plastics they use to apply the mud.
So you use different sides.
Yeah, you just use different sides of it depending on what you're trying to achieve.
But it's not the paintbrush then?
No, it's not, in this case it's not a paintbrush. There are instances where I'll use.
It's a spatula?
Yeah.
It's a spatula, okay.
But it's not like saying there's a fixed way of.
This one looks like you did it with your finger like that. You put some here.
No, basically, but I use the same method, right? And
I've seen your line in so many different interpretation and combinations.
yeah,
So this line is also seen in the dark. Because in the light, a lion is orange.
oh yeah.
So this lion is looking at you from the dark.
Yeah, from the mood, yeah. So it's always the mood, right? You say it.
Yeah.
It's always the mood,
And then this one is a guitarist, but he has a lot of light around him.
oh yeah.
So this one is in the light. He's not really out in the dark.
No.
He's outside in the light.
So yeah, depending, there's nothing like your mood in determining what color combinations you use, right?
This is not guitar, by the way. This is a bass.
Bass player.
Bass player.
Bass was good.
Okay,
French.
okay.
So. You guys already could call it bass. And then people would say, oh yeah, it's just French, so you would call it, but
Okay.
bass.
It's a bass. And this is a horse.
Yeah, that was an anatomical study of the horse.
All right, so the horse now, can we say he's in the light or in the
Partially so.
Yeah,
Because, I mean,
yeah.
what is yellow when you see
Yellow
I mean,
is the light.
it's bright,
Yeah.
right? So when you start going into, go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, yellow, those two are light and those two are in the dark, correct?
Yeah, but the question is what hue of darkness are they in? Because you can still, right?
I
It's
mean,
just like
an
saying,
elephant is usually what, gray?
yeah.
So since he's not gray, then he's in the dark.
Well, this is human, like the human interpretation,
Oh,
or what you call, I don't know what you call it, artistic liberty,
okay.
where you are.
This guy's coming out in the dark.
Yeah, it's coming out of it. It's walking back into where we all walk back into, right? Walk back into the light.
Okay.
Wherever we are,
So each of your animals have a name, or they just?
Well, they should speak for themselves, An elephant is an elephant, a lion is a lion, a horse is a horse.
Okay.
I mean, but my interpretation of it.
Okay.
So-
Yes. No, but did you name them?
No, I didn't because I thought it was so obvious.
Okay.
Right.
All right, so when you did, for example, the horse,
Yeah,
then from that horse, you did about 1,000 combination of it.
yeah, because like all things in life, it's variations.
Right.
Like when you look at humans, they're all humans, but we're a variation of so many, right?
Right.
And they come in different hues and, colors and
Yeah.
sizes and,
Do you have
heights and
people who
shapes.
collect your different interpretation of the same animal?
Oh, yeah. I do have,
Collectors?
I've been lucky because I have people, repeat, people who just show up.
Okay, so they
Case in
buy,
point,
let's say they buy
this-
the elephant here with those beautiful colors, and then they buy the elephant.
When they come back, yeah, and they
Yeah.
want a whole different, and then they
Interpretation.
ask situations where, I'll go out to a festival,
Yeah.
and people are actually waiting for me, right? So before I would load, get things out of, say, my van,
They
right?
want to see what you got.
Yeah, before other people get
Before
their
you-
hands on
Oh,
it,
okay.
you get it?
So those are the collectors.
Yeah, they're so much in love with it, they want to say, okay, what do you
Let's see.
understand?
Yeah, I can understand that someone would buy this one
Yeah.
because it's really artistic. I mean,
Yeah. And again, like I said, it all comes back to, well, like, how many symbols do we really have? Let's face it, or lines, right? And lines,
Yeah.
in themselves, like you're a filmmaker,
yeah,
a line,
yeah,
okay, what is the horizontal line, what am I doing? Or the vertical line,
yeah,
right? They subconsciously evoke,
yeah.
like it conveys something. So the question is, and in a way it suggests movement, right?
Movement,
Yeah,
change.
yeah, movement. Movement, a diagonal.
Oh, yeah. Then by
Right.
changing the color, you change the movement.
Yeah,
of the
but even
animal.
though the movement means the way your lines are shaped, right? Then what a circle is completion.
Even you, because I see you very often,
Yeah.
you totally change by the color of the shirt you wear.
I can't wear the same shirt all the time.
I know.
That would be-
But when I see you with one shirt, you look totally different.
Oh, yeah. Again, you remember how we were talking about lighting?
Yeah.
Okay, you have
When you
your-
wear
your
a
film.
white shirt,
Yeah.
it's totally different than with that blue shirt.
Yeah, but you're a filmmaker, right?
Yeah.
So in your business, in the art form you're in,
Yeah.
right? Lighting is so critical, right? So and then people would use to change the color of light, right? They use what they call gels, right? Say for
Or filters.
filters, yeah. Like some people, what if you cannot afford a filter?
Then
you can
you-
afford plastic.
Yeah,
right?
that's true, that's
Oh,
true.
red, orange, blue, depending on the complexion of the person you
Yes,
buy.
yes.
You use different sort of, right?
Exactly.
Okay, you bring like,
Yeah.
this skin color
This
needs more
look
light.
a little bit more red on his face.
Yeah, so we
Okay.
need that, we need, So I think the same thing, applies to you, right?
The shirt.
Yeah,
And
so,
and the base of the shirt
Yeah.
also makes a difference.
oh yeah, because it's a color.
Yeah, because if it's a blue shirt, you're gonna put a little bit more blue
Maybe.
to fit the blue.
Even if you did the blue, you would have to do a different hue of the blue. Because you remember I was saying, you can break you can take one color and break it down into so many other, right? So blue, there's nothing wrong with working with blue on blue, but the blue, the next blue has to be different so that
Contrast,
yeah,
there's a
yeah.
contrast.
Yeah, so you use that.
Okay, so this guy has a light blue here,
Yeah.
a little bit of green.
Yeah.
He also has a little pink
Yeah.
everywhere, so we can see.
And,
and
so doing sometimes, nature's always informing you, right?
Okay.
It's just like,
So-
what do you want? Algae green, or what do you want?
This one is in late afternoon, it's dark blue.
There you go. See, it evokes that there. And the intention was well carried.
And you just
So
didn't.
maybe I did it too around that time.
Yeah.
That's interesting, you said the late afternoon.
Yeah,
Okay, brings me back to,
when you
back
doing it.
years ago, I was commissioned to do like a piece of painting
Yeah.
in a jazz club
Yeah.
in Seattle,
Okay,
right, this was years ago.
yeah,
And what happened with that whole work is, back I was using a lot of pastels, meaning very soft colors,
all right.
okay?
Okay.
And that was the mood and the space, spiritual space also, because at the end. And by that, spiritual space, nothing frightening, you know, like what, every space is spiritual. So, the studio space I had, right, had like what you call Western light, right? The light that came into the room, right? So therefore, I will work until I start working. I'll get up and start working until by the time it hit noon, I had to stop because the light that was influencing what I was doing was suddenly very harsh, and I wanted just that soft light, very soft Western, you know, right? Okay, and
So it depends
yeah,
when you are in a day when you do your painting.
yeah, and what you also try to convey. So if you're working with, say, the elements, you know, you're working with nature, and I'm waiting on nature to give me this sort of support lighting that I'm looking for, right? And back then, because I was using a lot of pastels, very soft lights, I could not deal with, you know, like very harsh light, you know, by noon, say in your summer hours in the North Country, you know, the sunlight is really, you know, strong. Yeah, that's also therefore, if you start off early, you know, you work, say, until by noon, say from 6 until noon.
It's very bright.
Right, yeah, no, but it's also soft.
Oh.
So you use that light to assist you in.
Oh, yeah.
By
what you see when you do it.
Yeah, but it also influences how you mix your colors.
Yeah.
Right?
So did you paint this in the daytime then?
Oh yeah, this was during the day.
And
then anyway, there was also that to the background of the shirt, right?
is that the design there?
You could, but basically when I do a lot of what I call the abstract is to allow other people to interject their own interpretations.
Sure.
Which is
Because it has
beautiful.
one piece, but it doesn't have the whole.
Yeah, but let them take it.
And interpret.
Yeah, and which is really beautiful because everybody has, you know,
A way of seeing.
things. And then I say, oh, the way you see things is the way you see them, and they're right. Okay?
Whatever they see, they see.
Yeah, but that's how they inform, you know, right?
Because everybody has different references in their head, and also different awareness.
Yeah.
Some people are not aware of things or symbols, so they interpret it their way.
Yeah, they interpret, you know, like say we live in a world of say, metaphors, right, or language, you know.
Yeah.
But basically something like, yeah, in language is what's a language? Just a series of pictures that people have put in, you know.
And
so
then you imagine as they
speak.
speak.
Yeah, as they're speaking, then, you know,
You
subconsciously, you know, you create like all this, right?
Sometimes words are more powerful than the picture.
Yeah, and so when we look around us, I mean, we still look at this room.
Yeah.
With a lot of imagery that's in, you know, we step outside.
It's a different story.
The trees, the stones, you know, even though it's a very man-made, altered environment, I mean, certain things are obvious, you know, the shapes around.
Yeah, it's good to do our interviews in nature, but only if it's quiet.
Oh yeah, but you cannot really afford it because that's the modern world.
If we do it across the street at the park, then there's a car going by.
Non-stop, yeah.
And then there's kids yelling, and then.
Yeah, depending on what they try to,
Yeah, so, but there is places in the nature that are quiet, but you gotta go a little bit
further away from,
from the traffic.
Yeah. Now the studio space where I work now is down in,
Right here, around the neighborhood?
no, it's not in this neighborhood. You get it 101 South. It's called an area, I think it's around Moss Beach.
Oh, really?
South,
It's very quiet?
Very quiet. Interesting, but up to a point, because right next to it there's a small airfield. However, compared to the noise of the city,
It's very quiet.
very, right?
So you can concentrate
You
better?
concentrate, and then you're not that far from the ocean. You actually feel, right?
A little bit of the.
Oh, it does affect you. It does, you know, right? And then think about it. You just leave concrete San Francisco,
And you go.
and then you 20, 30 minutes away,
Yeah.
and in this area that you just,
And you see
to your
different
amazement,
colors too.
of course, but to your amazement, there's farmlands here. You didn't have to drive that far to like, oh, my God.
It's better for creativity too.
Oh, yeah, that's science, right? Because, I mean, it's all about, although your creativity too can happen when it's noisy.
That's true.
Right. But the question is,
The colors
when do you,
won't come out the
yeah,
same.
when do you, yeah. So what's the?
You're looking at something different, they're
Right.
your colors
Because everything around you just also
influence
impacts, yeah.
the colors.
Yeah, the vibrations, electricity vibrations.
Yeah. So you bring all kinds of colors depending on the mood of the day, or if it's cold or warm day.
Yeah, and then your experiences.
And you mix the colors.
Oh, yeah. If you ever came to the studio, you see, I had this tray, like a cookie tray, whatever people like to put. Well, it's huge.
And where do you mix the
Yeah, you
colors?
just put it right there, and then you like.
So
okay.
first you imprint the skeleton of the thing.
No. You do the background first. Just,
Oh, you
I
do
don't-
the background
yeah,
first.
But I don't like into call it a background or call it more of an abstract painting.
Oh, and then you put the animal.
Yeah.
I thought it was the opposite. Okay.
No, because, you could do it, but the question is,
So now you do it differently than what I thought. I thought you put the animal, then paint him.
no.
No.
There's
First,
some instances where you would do that, but like a lot of what I'm doing is,
a painting, then you put the animal.
yeah, because sometimes if you get into that aspect of it, you may find yourself, is it time consuming? Yeah, but is it worth it? Of course it's worth it. That's why you keep, right?
Yeah.
Because I was like, why should I, be the best of what you do at any given time? And that should be, they say, this is the only, when I use the word, this is the only second you have. I'm not a fatalist. I'm not telling people that sit there and be thinking about death and things like that.
Yeah.
I said, but this is it. Are you in that moment? Are you in the moment? I'm fully in the moment.
Okay, and do you try within the time of your studio do as many as possible, or you take your time?
You pace it. There are times when you try to do as many as possible,
Yeah.
but it's not, then what is the reward?
Oh, then it's not as good.
Yeah, but if you pace it and giving every piece
It's time.
its time, I mean, and then when you look at it,
Then you let yourself express it.
yeah, but even the piece you have in it, which is what you're looking for anyway, you want some piece of quiet. It's a way of processing, processing things that you can, process any other way. And like I say, music allows me to process.
So let's say a piece like this that might have taken you more time than others,
Yeah,
then you charge more for it because you spend maybe an hour on it rather than
Yeah.
10 minutes.
yeah, and sometimes it depends who you're dealing with. There are people who are very appreciative,
Okay.
and they see what went into.
Or they do see that there is work into
There's
it.
work into you, and then not only that, but they also like what they see. And
Okay.
they would sometimes pay you even more than what you ask for.
Because they like it.
Yeah, but they think you deserve.
Yeah,
you
because
deserve-
it's an original,
Yeah, so they say, no, this deserves
a little bit more.
more money, and they're willing to, they insist that you must take more money.
Okay, so and if something you spend a lot of time in it, you take a picture of it, like this one.
Yeah,
Yeah, because it's you in it.
yeah, and also, it's just like,
You don't
I'm not writing a poem. But say, for instance, if you're writing a poem, right? The
Yeah.
poems come from recollections, right, of certain moments,
Right.
right? And then when this, in a way, is a form of poetry. That's it. This is what I experienced. This is how it came true.
Okay.
And then you archive it or you document it, right? Because Fortunately, we now have like all these cameras and, that can, respond right on the, but when you document something, you can like always go back, right? So if you wrote a lot of books, it doesn't necessarily mean you can just sit there. You sometimes have to read it again. Oh my God, yeah, oh wow.
Do you get attached to some of your paintings, like you don't want to sell?
My lessons, when I was doing more paintings than anything else, is the pieces I always felt attached to, I didn't want to sell, were the paintings that were always stolen.
Oh, no kidding.
So then you learn, you're like, okay.
Let it go.
Just let it go. Because when you step back from it, right?
It's better to be
when you realize it was given to you.
Ah, okay. Then you gotta let it go. Let it go.
Because, and every time you do that, there's usually more that opens up.
Okay.
Right?
Okay,
Someone that just
true.
gives, that doesn't stop
That's
giving.
true. That's true.
But if you try to possess it, right? Then
I had an artist a long time ago, and he brought a lot of paintings, and we even went to his studio. And then, unfortunately, all his work went into flames in a fire.
Yeah.
So he had to start from the beginning and rebuild his collection. And his new collection was more beautiful than the previous one anyway.
Because without realizing it, like I say, when I was doing a lot of paintings, and I've not really had the space, well, maybe I'm moving more into sound, so the music is paintings, it's textures, just colors. What I always realize,
it gets better and better every day.
Yeah, but that when you start, you have a vision, right? And it starts with one study, right?
One element.
The one study, the second one, then the third one. So don't say, oh no, don't sit there casting everything down. Just let it go. Start a new one. Start, keep going. And then eventually, lo and behold,
something beautiful.
What you see in your mind's eyes.
Finding ideas.
Comes true, right? And I remember there's a pencil drawing I did years ago, and I realized, looking back, the reflection is that I was using this very soft lead. Well, pencils, lead, right? But some are hard, some are very soft.
Right.
And I used, and it was so appropriate to the subject that I was studying. And I just like, and then even the inner peace I had when I was doing it, so it wasn't something that, too gentle a thing to sit there like, and excuse if you never see what I'm saying. And so
so now you've been like 5 years doing this, so your work has evolved then?
On some levels, it's evolved in terms of part of the reason too that it seems like I'm repeating the same thing, which is not necessarily what I'm doing.
No, you're not repeating the background though.
So that's where the expressing the new inside of me, right? But then in terms of space, I would need a space to keep painting while I do this sort of stuff. But a lot of my diversion, it's not a diversion, but I'm finding a bigger sort of power in music, right? So that's why I'm exploring that one, and here we are, right? So we are,
so sometimes after when you put the animal on, it's a surprise because you didn't expect that kind of effect.
That is true. You sort of you have an end result in your head, in your mind.
This one, did you have that result?
Because first of all, when I thought about the color combinations and the background, right? Just sort of how you limit the colors to, right? And so I said, okay, there's such an orange shirt, the background. And then I thought, okay, the like ultramarine blue. I mean, we get
Mauve,
this blue,
mauve.
but it was softened. It also helped to right. And then if I bring the black after all's been said, right, like create this other dimension and put it on top of, right?
Then it create that.
Yeah, then, so that's why you say, oh, it's coming out. You feel, you see, and so it works really well because the softening up, right? The softening up, the fresh layer with a certain color, right, allows me, right, to then, like, because push, right, bring what I'm trying to say into the foreground. Okay,
So this is a men's shirt, but you can do the very similar thing for a woman, right? I mean, you can do, although it won't be exactly the same.
No, it wouldn't be, I'm not sure if I...
You never do two shirts identical.
No. I think, again, I say, being in the moment.
Oh, so each
So
of
making
your
the moment,
shirts.
yeah, making that moment its own moment, right?
Ah, okay,
So that's
okay.
why I said, oh, so you have this poems,
Yeah.
and you write, like, oh, okay.
So each shirt is an original.
Just say that,
Yes.
but I mean, the theme might be the same.
But each
Yeah.
shirt has a different painting behind it.
Yeah, the theme might be, but the exploration of it is very different.
Right.
Okay, it has its own voice, its own vision, its own, okay, if I may use the word energy,
Ah.
because that's what colors are. It's a hue of energy, it's a hue of light, right? And then without getting too metaphysical, like I see people wearing different colors. People are drawn to different colors, and they don't know why they are. But should they, if they feel they're drawn to it,
They wear it.
they're feeling nurtured by that color, they should.
Wear it.
Yeah. But yeah.
So you like to wear a lot of blues, or you like to wear a lot of white, or a lot of...
Both. It depends on the space I'm in.
Ah,
And then those colors I feel comfortable with.
okay.
I just, the white, of course, that means you have to make an effort to keep it really clean. What's the point of wearing it if it's not clean, right?
Yeah, but white it has to be like 80 or very warm outside, and you feel
Yeah.
good wearing it.
Yeah, and sometimes even if you just feel like wearing it because it feels clean,
Wearing
there's
it.
something about, feeling clean.
That
It just feels clean.
day you felt good.
Yeah, calm, it's clean, like. this is-
White is clean, pure.
Yeah, they say that, but again, without getting into the metaphysics of it, I'm just like.
No, I mean, yeah, white is innocence, purity, all this associated with white.
Yeah, and, but I just say every color is a part of all the other colors. That's how I see it. But for some reason, some just speaks to you, that speaks to you in a more intuitive way, just gives you that, here I am. Just like, look at pictures, and some pictures just like, transports you into a whole different, right? And the question is, why does this picture evoke this in me and this one doesn't? I say, if you can answer all those questions, then good luck.
So anyway, yeah, there's a lot more to be said. Maybe every day there's something to be said about each painting, because it depends on your mood that day and everything.
Yeah, and like.
Oh, by the way, do you put music in the background when you paint?
Oh yeah.
Or is it silent?
There are times when I just rather be silent, but then, like I have a friend who loaned me, he didn't loan me, but he gave me, as a jazz pianist.
Yeah.
And he's been giving me a lot of his music, and apparently, because he wants me to listen to it and then play with him someday.
And then you find out you were composing something different on the paintings?
Yeah, but because when I listen to his music, I can really hear it. You're right?
Yeah.
But it's not like listen to me, it's not somebody telling you, listen to me. It has the space that allows you to become part of his music. This is probably how good he is, right? But the fact that he gave me his CDs because he wants me to play with him. So I want you to listen to this.
One day he wants you to play in a band with him?
Yeah, I'm listening,
And now you like, if you like his music, then you might join his group?
Not join his group per se, but play with him, yeah.
What kind of instrument does he play?
No, he's a pianist.
So he got a guitarist with piano?
It could be done.
It could?
Why not?
Okay. You gotta try it before you say.
Yeah, well, the thing is, with piano players, they tend to play a lot of notes. First of all, you have to understand them.
And then
but when you play with other people, there's certain, you become a minimalist. It doesn't deny you your ability to say what you want to, right? But
some instruments take over. Some instruments take over.
But if you're having a conversation, then you listen.
Okay.
The other person talk, right?
Yeah.
You listen, then they listen, you talk.
Okay.
So you see
that's why when they have a band, they let one band member just play by themselves, so people can just hear.
Yeah. Give them that lead. Okay. But there's a reason for that, because what are they evoking to at the time? What are they trying to say about? And remember how well, say it was a story.
Yeah.
We tell me the story, but this time we're telling it together.
Yeah.
So this is taking the story. But I'm taking the story to this point. So what do you have to say about? And they come.
And that's why some people tell stories that people like to hear. So they repeat the same tune.
Yeah, and but the good thing about it with jazz music though is the level of, you continuously have to study, and then you realize that there's so many different approaches to this one story you're telling. So the typical thing is, and people are throwing words around like improvisation, which is a good word, but to improvise, you have to have the vocabulary. So meaning, you have to do a lot of woodshedding. You have to study, right? To be able to have that flexibility to just come into a room and create music and development. But the question is, how do you do that without a vocabulary? So a lot of study.
So some of the music you compose, you forgot about it because you didn't write it down. So then you have to compose another one the next day.
That's how it goes. Yeah. Sometimes you remember things when you least expected them, or a combination of a lot of other things you've done.
So do you sometimes write your music, or it's always different?
Oh, why not? I have ideas.
No, I mean what you did to us previously. Was that something you remembered, or something you just improvised? That was.
Some of it I remembered. Some of it,
you improvised.
Yeah, you improvise or you add it.
Yeah, because you didn't have it written down.
No, because it's something you've been practicing, working on.
But if it's, let's say, a 3-minute piece, and you record it, then you can write it.
Oh yeah.
Because you listen to it and you write the notes.
And then because I think I study a lot, so whatever I do would always have. Because there's always something new coming into it.
Okay, but did you study music long enough to be able to write the notes?
Oh, I can write down the notes, but it's not about writing the notes, it's about playing the instrument.
Yeah, but after you play it, you record it, then you can write it.
You can write it, because once you get a melody in your head,
then you play it over and over.
You play it over and over, and then you start finding, this,
Let's do that.
Yeah, okay. Develop the melody, open it up, and you learn,
So when you play at home, do you have a player recorder or no? No, you just play.
Yeah, not lately, and then if I had my normal bag here, you probably find I have huge stacks of books. but I'm always exploring. There's nothing wrong with that, I love it, you know, like
So you pick one that has been written already?
sometimes, and then theory ideas. You theory.
So it's not exactly like painting, because painting is all, each piece is different. As for music, it's something you can repeat at some point.
Yeah, of course, you can repeat it, but I'm saying, depending on your vocabulary, you can repeat the same thing but with a different approach.
Oh, okay.
Closing now.
So, well, it looks like she gave us the clue, real cute.
Okay, thank you.
But she could have done it from the window. She
Okay.
opened the, okay, so thank you so much. Enjoyed having a little chat with you about all of this.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it came out, and then we'll air it probably in a couple months.
In a couple of months?
Yeah, but it will be online a little bit earlier than that.
Oh, I see what you're saying. What about the music?
Same. I'm going to send it to you in a couple days.
Oh, but when do you get it on YouTube? Because I was telling people,
2 to 3 days. But on the channel here,
yeah.
it takes a month to 2 months.
Oh, no problem.
Okay.
No, because I was telling some people,
Yeah,
Because usually you
I will
put it
let
on.
you know when it.
but I think the music, I don't know, from my vantage point, I can tell how it's playing. Like
Yeah,
that.
you can send it to them before it airs here.
No, but even the playing, I thought the play was, I don't know, it felt right. You know, the music was playing itself.
All right,
The
thank you
music
so
kind of
much.
pushed me out of the way.
Yeah.
And it was just coming through.
Okay, thank you.
No, thank you kindly. So let me head back down there.
Oh, because